So Katt Williams did another interview, and this time he did it with the Ghetto Boys artist Willie D. And he did it on his platform. And honestly, I would have to say, from reviewing it, I was really, really disappointed. The interview was very, very tiresome. It was boring. And even Katt Williams basically said Willie D didn't ask really that many good questions at all. He kind of said that he had the worst questions he's ever had, ever, in an interview. And he said it as a joke, but low key, I think he was serious because you know how Katt Williams is. He could be shady. I watched the interview when it was streaming live, and it was pretty boring. I was like looking for those, shocking moments and shocking questions, because I just thought, well, Willie D, he's in Hollywood himself. He's a hip hop artist and everything else. He's done been around the world. I just thought he was gonna have some more interesting questions, and I think it just missed the mark with me. I'm not quite sure when they recorded this interview. I don't know if it was recorded prior to him seeing the interview with Shannon Sharp or after. I don't know. I don't know, but I watched the interview and I was just completely bored out of my mind. Like, I mean, of course, when Katt Williams is talking, you're gonna listen, and it was interesting to hear what he had to say. But pretty much everything that he said on the previous interview, he said during Willie D's interview. Now, it was an awkward moment that I was just like, "Yo, what is this about?" And it seemed like Willie D was like pressing Katt Williams for his friend named Ali something. I don't know if he's like a comedian. I don't know who the hell the guy is, but he was asking him about a situation that allegedly happened between Katt and this guy who was trying to be on one of Katt Williams' comedy shows. And basically, the guy was saying that Katt Williams' security had locked arms and told him that he couldn't go back there at a comedy show that he was having. And he was saying that Katt Williams was supposed to have been letting him perform. And then Katt Williams clarified, like, when he's on tour, he already has a set list of comedians that's on tour with him. So there's no way that this guy would have been able to just walk inside up in there and just perform, because it's not an open mic with him. He doesn't do stuff like that. And even with him basically refuting the claims and basically clarifying that he even wrote this guy a check to send him about his way because he didn't understand why he was intruding on him during his comedy show, and behind the scenes and things of that nature. Willie D was pressing him, basically trying to make it like, "Yo, let me put him on the phone. Can't we just work this out or whatever?" And he was like, it was basically nothing to work out. And I think that was like the downhill part of his interview. It was like, dude, like, okay, like, if you wanted to work something out between him and Katt, I feel like that should have been done after the interview, after you had your conversations. I didn't understand why it seemed like he was like trying to advocate for this random dude. I don't know if it was his friend, but it was a bit unprofessional if you're talking about journalism. And speaking of journalism, there's so many of these former rappers, former athletes and stuff like that, and just former this and that, actors, actresses, rappers, athletes, you name it, that's trying to enter journalism. And I just want to clarify with you guys, I do have a media communications degree. I have a bachelor's degree in this. So this is my actual field of study. And I graduated with a bachelor's degree. So before everybody come looking at me, "Oh, you're just a random on the internet," I actually went to school for this, so I know the parts of journalism and stuff like that. And I feel like if you're going to transition from one field to the next, maybe you should study on it more so you can be a little bit more professional when you're asking questions. Now, although I would like to say Shannon Sharp interview was a good interview, would I say he was a good interviewer? I mean, I feel like he could have tightened up on his questions too. But hey, Katt Williams basically took over that interview and he just did what he needed to do, was sit back and let the man say whatever he wanted to say. I don't know what they worked out behind the scenes, or if it organically happened that way, so be it. But with Willie D's interview, I just feel like it was unprofessional for him to come out of nowhere and say, "Oh, by the way, this guy right here had an issue with you." So he explained it to him, and he still was pressing the issue like he was his representative or something. I just was like, "Yo, this is getting real, real weird." And then after that, it just kind of went like left for me. He had did like two more questions. He had asked about Wanda Smith's interview, and Katt Williams basically explained about that and said that he felt like he was set up behind the scenes. And it was some stuff. And I did another video on that. You guys can check that out, and that goes into detail. And then it got towards the end, and I feel like the ending, it was so abrupt. I didn't expect it to end like it did. And you could tell with the energy. I don't know if it was the scheduling or what. He gave Shannon Sharp 3 hours of his time, and he gave Willie D like literally just an hour. And that right there made me think like maybe Katt wasn't really feeling the interview, or was he nervous? Because maybe Willie D was nervous. He was giving me the vibe like he was kind of nervous while he was interviewing him. So I don't know, but I just wasn't really feeling the magic. It was just, I don't know. I feel like Shannon Sharp and Katt Williams had better chemistry, and I just didn't feel like Willie D and Katt Williams had that same chemistry. Also, I feel like the interview was rushed, and I don't think he really was prepared for it. And like I said, I don't know when they recorded this, but it just doesn't seem as if he was like fully prepared with good questions. Because if he watched the entire interview with Shannon Sharp, if it was recorded after Shannon Sharp, he would have had better questions for him, or try to say, what do you think about this person's response? Because Ice Cube had responded in regards to the whole situation with Friday After Next and Ricky Smiley and everything else, and he didn't ask those questions. I thought he was going to have follow-up questions like, oh, this person had a rebuttal to what you said last week when you claimed this and claimed that, but he didn't ask those questions. It's like, if you're trying to, like, I know, of course, the video's probably at 1 million views because it's Katt Williams. Anywhere Katt Williams goes, he's going to get at least 1 million probably within the same 2 hours of him being there. Not even the same 5 hours or so. Less than 24 hours, you're going to easily get 1 million views. And, there's no way for me, like I said, as a podcaster, I'm not sitting here trying to say, oh, or hate or anything like that. I'm just doing what I do. I'm commentating and sharing my thoughts on certain things. And I feel like Willie D with his celebrity, should be able to get another interview, should try to get another interview, should try that again, because I know he's going to probably be at 1 million subscribers by the end of today. So, hey, he's winning either way. I know that YouTube check about to be real fat and stacked, all right? But I'm just saying in general, I feel like he could have waited a little longer so the steam could slow down from the interview last week. Also, it would have given him more time to prepare and ask better questions. I don't know what Katt Williams' schedule was or whatever the situation was, but if he did ask those questions, he should have just, I don't know, he should have just did more research. It just got kind of boring. It just made me want to, like, take a little bit of a snoozy nap after, the first, 15, 20 minutes, but I stayed tuned in because I wanted to support Willie D, of course, as a black man, in journalism, and I respect him in his hip-hop group as well, as hip-hop legends as well, with the Ghetto Boys, so I decided to tune in because of that. I want him to get his ad revenue, get his money, but it was really not what I wanted it to be. But hey, that's his interviews, not mine. So, but it kind of seemed like Willie D usually, his energy is different when he does his lives, so I just expected more from him. He seemed like such a straight shooter, such a quick talker, such a and I felt like outside of him pressing him about that comedian, it was so many other questions he could have asked. You had Cedric the Entertainer reply back to him in the media in regards to the whole he stole my joke thing. You got Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey didn't reply back to him, but you still have other things that's going on with Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish, she's on the internet talking crap about him as well, putting a post on her Instagram page talking about some trying to insinuate. It seemed like allegedly she was trying to insinuate that Katt Williams was on drugs. I don't know what this whole drug narrative is with Katt Williams, but he doesn't look like a drug addict, and everybody got to chill with that too. That's really just slanderous. I mean, I don't know. Maybe these comedians are comfortable slandering each other back and forth, but I mean, for him to have proof, and you guys have no proof that he's a drug addict outside of him smoking a cigarette and smoking some weed, I don't understand where it's coming from, especially for somebody like Tiffany Haddish, who's recently been arrested for a DUI, allegedly, and falling asleep behind a wheel under the influence. That's just like the pot calling the kettle black. I don't know. But what I do know is that interview could have been 10 times better if Willie D scheduled it better. I don't know, scheduled around it so Katt Williams could really just sit back. I felt like he should have let Katt Williams work his magic more so he could get more out. Either that or ask the questions for a follow-up. Like, if you were going to do that, you should have did the follow-up to it. You should have been like, oh, yeah, you had these questions with Shannon. I'm not going to ask those exact same questions. I'm going to ask, what do you think about them replying back to you saying, oh, this is false? Ludacris responded. Ice Cube responded. Mike Epps threw out some shade to him a couple of days ago, and then said that he was jealous. Even though they were friends and all, he was a little jealous because he was getting all this attention. Like you guys, like I said, Tiffany Haddish. Then it's the kicker. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this was recorded before this happened, but it just came out that Katt Williams is taking Kevin Hart's ex-wife Tori Hart on tour for his comedy tour this month. So it's so many different things he could have divulged in. Like, I just was so disappointed because I thought this was about to be like, ooh, what is his response to, the people saying stuff to him about what he said on Shannon Sharp show, and it was just like, man, this is boring. It was a snooze fest, man. I don't know, but I want to drag this video too long. Anyway, if you guys can, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It's the DJ Jerica podcast where I talk about entertainment news, world news. Once again, I'm encouraging you guys, go ahead and support Willie D. Check out his channel, subscribe. It's great to see so many of the black platforms out here growing because of Katt Williams interacting and doing interviews with these platforms. And it's nice to see, two of them basically hit 1 million, past their first million. Of course, Shannon Sharp, he's pushing close to 3 million now. He was only at 1,700,000 when I had checked when he did the Katt interview. So Katt Williams is blessing a lot of people right now. And it looks like by the end of tonight, Willie D's going to have 1 million subs. So congratulations to him. I just was speaking out because, and hey, I'm helping him by talking, right? Technically, I'm helping right now by talking and speaking about his interview. But I just had a couple of things, and I just was like, I'm thinking about it. I just wanted to get it off my chest. It was a good interview. I'm not gonna say it was a good interview. It was a cool interview. It was cool to see. And when I say it's cool, because it's cool to see Willie D's platform expand like it has. I just wish that the interview was better. I feel like his team, if he has a team, could have sat down and really dotted the I's, crossed the T's on it, and make sure all the questions was stellar, just to make it a little better than what it was. Because I felt like with all of the chaos and people responding and people going on the internet and people this and videos dropping and receipts coming out, he could have been like, yo, Katt, I know you said this about this person and this receipt dropped. Like, wow, like this was really true. You're not lying. And then he could have been like, you think I'm lying? Why would I lie about anything or whatever? You know what I mean? It would have been juicier that way, and of course, like it was Shannon Sharp, he was on there with Ocho Cinco, and they were just basically talking about how the views just jumped so high because the controversy. You got to have some type of controversy. It was kind of boring. Outside of this no-name person, he could have just said that Ludacris responded with a freestyle. For Christ's sakes, like, they're like, what do you got to say about that? Like, that would have been it. And I swear, if he would have done that, I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are going to look like after this, but it wasn't, right now, it's not hitting the exact numbers as Shannon Sharp. And the other thing, lastly, that what I want to say is it kind of feels like he was taking away from Shannon Sharp's thunder, because I really was hoping that he got to 40 million, and now I feel like, is it going to slow it down? Who knows? Yeah, but maybe next time when they do the interview, Willie D will be more prepared. Maybe he was just so excited because he had this interview with Katt, and him seeing the numbers running up. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. He could have did this before the numbers got high over there. But the numbers running up, maybe he felt like, oh man, I got to get this now, this, and this. But I feel like if he did the follow-up questions, also the marketing as well, it would have helped if he even just did a feature. You know what I'm saying? Like a short reel or something, just say, hey, dropping this day, I asked him this question, that question, stay tuned tonight. Or like at least a 24-hour warning, so people be like, oh, he replying back to all of y'all. That would have definitely helped out and been a bit more entertaining. But I guess, Willie D, he's not really into, I guess, drama, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, most viewers do. They want to know what he has to say in reply to what somebody else said about him, talking about them, because it's just been a back and forth, and I really just want to know what's on his mind. And, but outside of that, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. This is the DJ Erica podcast, where I talk about entertainment news, world news. If you feel what I'm saying, hit the sub button. If you don't like what I'm saying, leave a comment. Share your thoughts. I want to hear everybody's comments, good or bad. Let your girl know what you're feeling. Follow me on all social media at DJJ Erica, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Like I said, go ahead and support Willie's D channel. Help this man hit 1,000,000 views. I don't want him to see this video think that I'm hating on him and hating on the old school. No, it's just I felt like his questions could have been more detailed, could have been more precise, and I feel like he could have asked more questions and made it so it was more, seasoned up to rebuttal to what everybody else was going and chattering about this weekend with the replies from the comedians that he accused of stealing his ideas and everything else that was supposed to be going on throughout Hollywood. All right, y'all be blessed, and I'll catch you guys later. Much love.